Before we dive into the latest quotes and takeaways from Chicago Bulls media day, I got a challenge for you guys. Can we just pick up 20 new subscribers on today's video? We're actually going to have a watch party for the first Bulls preseason game. And guess who they play? They play the Milwaukee Bucks. So we're going to see the first action of Dame and Giannis. So make sure you guys subscribe, tune in, and join our Bulls Report family right now. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. And on today's show, we're going to be diving into all of the quotes and takeaways from Chicago Bulls Media Day, where we actually got a Lonzo Ball injury update. It's kind of a little heartwarming quote that he had. And then also we got an update around DeMar DeRozan, because obviously we know DeMar is on a one-year, $28 million expiring contract. And there's been a lot of talk and a lot of buzz that the Bulls could be extending him. But Lonzo Ball actually talked to media, and he kind of took away the headlines a little bit with his injury update. He said this about his recent rehab process. He said, rehab is pretty good. Probably about halfway through the rehab process. Still got a very long ways ahead of me, but each week I've been progressing. I'm just trying to stay positive, take it day by day. Rehab has been long. It feels like every day is almost the same, but I started getting better each week. That's all I can ask for. And overall, I just love Lonzo's mindset with this whole thing. Like, if there's anybody to be down and just be down in the dumps and be in a bad mood, it's this guy. I mean, injury after season after season. Right when he was starting to kind of, go on this great path on his NBA career where he was turned into such a true winner on the basketball floor, and he kept getting injured. So I love his mindset, taking it day by day, and hopefully he can one day wear the Bulls stripes once again, but who knows. But overall, I like his mindset, totally positive out of Zoe. And then he continued to say this, just overall about his experience with the Bulls this offseason. He says, I definitely plan on playing again. Like I said, I'm only 25, and I feel like that's so key. And they continue to say, and I feel like the rehab process has been going well so far. No setbacks. So for me, it's just keeping my head up and just keep doing the work. And I love to hear it. He's putting his nose to the grindstone, and he is going to work his ass off to hopefully be back with the Chicago Bulls unit. But Lonzo, he's going to be a part of this Bulls team this year, and I'm just overall excited to have him back. So I want you guys to show him some love down in the comment section. Type those Zoes because, hey, when this guy was healthy, the Bulls were the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. So show him some love. Type those Zoes down in the comment section. Let's kick it to DeMar DeRozan now. And if a contract extension could be coming for number 11 that plays for the Chicago Bulls. Like I said at the top of the show, he's on a one-year, $28 million expiring contract. So a lot of the talk has been, will the Bulls extend him or use him as a trade piece at the deadline? And this was actually what Arturus Karnisovas, the president of basketball operations for the Bulls, had to say. He said, we love DeMar. The last 2 years, he's been unbelievable for us. Two-time All-Star, second-team All-NBA. He loves Chicago, and Chicago loves him back. Yeah, I am very excited for the season. And DeMar has been great with the Bulls, dating back to that 2021 season, which was the first year with Lonzo Ball and the boys. I mean, DeMar legit averaged 28 a game with 5 rebounds, 5 assists, while shooting over 50% from the floor. That's incredible. I think DeMar's most underrated value, honestly, has been his playmaking ability with this Bulls team. We really saw him, take that next step when he was in San Antonio during the 2020 season. But, I mean, averaging 7 assists a game back that year, and then obviously he's been solid with the Bulls. But the overall critique with DeMar and this Bulls offense, and a lot of the guys kind of talked about it today, was they need to overall just up their pace of play and differentiate their overall shot chart. Because a lot of the Bulls' game last season was the mid-range. We know DeMar, he lives there. But even LaVine likes to hop in the midi. Vooch likes to hop in the midi. The Bulls were taking too many mid-range shots, hence why they were 4th in field goal percentage last season, but 22nd in points per game. So they got to change that a little bit and just kind of get rid of the ISO, throw the ball to DeMar, and he clears out on the wing, makes some moves, and tries to rise over the defender. But overall, DeMar, he had this to say about his contract talks. And I thought it was cool because you're kind of getting a look on a little behind the curtains of just overall how these guys think when it comes to these situations. He said, I have an agent, and he deals with it. I tell him to leave me the hell alone so I can focus on my 5 kids and my regular day life. I'm not kidding you. I really try not to focus on that or deal with that. I let them handle whatever that needs to be handled from that standpoint. And I do think this with DeMar, I think there's a great chance that he gets dealt at the deadline because 1-year deal. Another opposing team could be like, hey, if the Bulls are 5 games below 500, what if we toss them a couple of draft picks and maybe a young player, and we get DeMar for the rest of the season, and maybe DeMar is kind of that icing on the cake that finally gets them over the top. So it's going to be interesting to see. If I had to predict it right now, DeMar is probably not on the Bulls next season. But hey, what if the Bulls win some games here and, maybe they decide to run it back one last time? I would actually disagree with that. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I'll ask you guys, would you extend DeMar DeRozan? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no. I'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if YouTube throws an ad break your way, scroll down, answer today's pinned comment. When you scroll back up, the ad will be done, and I can tell you about other takeaways from Media Day. So, yeah, coming up next, we got other takeaways from Media Day. There's some interesting quotes from Zach LaVine, and Kobe White actually had a funny quote about going back to his old hair. If you guys haven't seen it yet, he's rocking this fro that he was rocking back in high school again, so it's going to be cool to see that. But before we dive into it, I got to tell you about our brand new sponsor here at the Bulls Report, PrizePicks. I absolutely love PrizePicks. If you guys head to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS, you will get a first deposit match up to $100. Instead of battling versus thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. PrizePicks is the most fun I've had. I've been making all types of money this football and basketball season. Quick withdrawals, easy game plan, enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy app. And you guys can actually make some plays on this upcoming NBA season. They have Zach LaVine's projected points per game line at 25.1. I'm going to go the more. DeMar DeRozan at 23.8. I'm going to go less than that. I think DeMar will up his usage and DeMar will take a step back there. Vooch, always good rebounder. I'm going to go more on his rebounds per game, and they set that at 10.9. But overall, guys, you guys got to get hooked up with PrizePicks today. One last time, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's video. Make sure you guys get checked out today. It's great. Have a ton of fun using it so far this football season, so you guys better get hooked up as well. But the biggest quote from this little Bulls Media Day was Zach LaVine, and he kept it frank. He said, this is a do-or-die season for the Bulls. Straight up. Let's call a spade here. This is a do-or-die season. This is sink or swim. And I think it could even be quicker than that. I think, honestly, the first amount of games up until that NBA trade deadline is absolutely massive. Because let's just say the Bulls are 5 games above 500. We could be looking around and we could just be like, you know what? Let's go all in on a move and let's try to get another player in here. But maybe if they lose, they could be in a situation where it's a fire sale in Chicago. We see LaVine, DeRozan, and Vooch all get dealt, and the Bulls try to go into a full rebuild. LaVine knows it. Vooch knows it. DeMar knows it. This entire city knows it. It is a do-or-die season for this Chicago Bulls basketball team. But this was my favorite quote of the day, and it comes from Kobe White. And listen, Kobe White's had an up-and-down start to his NBA career. He was great his rookie year, dropped his points per game by 3 in his sophomore year, and then dropped it another 3 in his junior year this past season. But Kobe White, the hair is back. The fro he had back at North Carolina and his high school days is back, and this is the quote he had to say. He said, just try to go back to the high school Kobe. That's the vibe I'm on right now. And this is him from today. He looks absolutely fantastic. I love when Kobe White's got his hair back. It's funny enough, he's actually listed at 6'5" on like the roster and everything, even dating back to college. With his hair like this, he is legit a 6'7" guard. He is huge. I think he looks great. He was having so much fun. Him and Lonzo were actually messing around at Media Day. So it seems like spirits are high and vibes are overall high in the Chicago Bulls locker room and heading into training camp. So it's all good on that standpoint. But hey, there was a lot of moves made around the NBA the past couple of days with the Celtics and Drew Holiday, the Bucks getting Damian Lillard. The Bulls are, they got an uphill battle if they want to contend in this Eastern Conference, and that's what they plan on doing. But the conclusion is there's not a ton of overwhelming takeaways. There wasn't a ton of overwhelming buzz from this Media Day session. We know what's at stake. This Bulls team, they said, we are going to run it back. We added Javon Carter. We think he can be the point guard that replaces Lonzo Ball. We brought back Io. We brought back Kobe. We brought back the big 3. We hope Patrick Williams develops. Everything we've been talking about this offseason, they just kind of regurgitated at this media day. So no overwhelming takeaways. They know what is at stake this year, or else maybe we could have a new head coach and an entirely different roster at the start of next season. Well, I ask you guys to wrap up today's show. How many games will the Chicago Bulls win this upcoming season? Listen, the bookmakers out west got them set at 37.5. I'm probably going right around 40. I'd probably go over that. So let me know, how many games do you guys think the Bulls will win this season? As always, you guys can give me a follow on Twitter. I'm be tweeting out the Bulls all year long. So make sure you guys give me a follow at Pat Siepman. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and the description of today's show. See y'all next time. Go Bulls.